dynamic search is a really great campaign type because it almost works like a shopping ad. Now, I'm not covering shopping in the scope of this course. I'll make another one for it. But shopping ads work independent of keywords. They actually use product titles and other information from the product pages. That's how dynamic search works. So dynamic search is great because you can put it on a slow budget and like a really small budget and use it for your keyword research. You actually use this to just basically come up with ideas for what to target. Now, for some stores, you can actually use dynamic search as one of your primary campaigns for scaling, depending on the type of store. It's usually stuff with lots of products and lots of SKUs with very just specific search terms. Doesn't always work. Sometimes it does. I've seen I think my career 2 or 3 instances where it made sense to really focus on a dynamic search. So it's not common. We could talk about that more in advanced search engine marketing, but it's not even worth covering. For the most part, this is a dynamic search. Is for research. So we'll just go through the process and make one real quick, so you could see the setup process for it and how I like to use them. We're gonna go into sales. Looks like we're a little slow. What's going on here? We'll skip it. There we go. Sales search, and we're gonna do a quick naming convention for this. It's basically all the same stuff by default. Now the position here is what's different because we're using this for research. So RES means research. It's not top, it's not bottom. There's like one other research campaign type you can build, and that's basically putting like brand terms as broad match in a campaign. I don't even really do that anymore. This is usually enough, and this does a really good job. And we'll just call it dynamic search. Same thing with the research type. And this is a non-brand. So we're going to take this, we're going to copy it, we're going to finish our setup. Now this we're going to use maximize conversions bidding. Talk about that later. And use all the main settings that we go over in campaign setup. So I guess you're kind of seeing this before campaign setup. For more, I'm going to fly through this, but for more information on how to set this up, just use those videos. This one is a little different, and the reason is because we're going to use dynamic search ads. So dynamic search ads, we're going to put in the URL. And what this will do is basically skip the whole concept of like putting in keywords and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you want to know more about the setup process for regular campaigns, just check out that section of the course. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna basically target all web pages. That's how I like to do this, because you don't want to just limit it to a blog or limit to this, because you may have missed some keywords in your initial research, and that's where this comes in handy. This feeds you more ideas to constantly extract and put into your non-brand campaigns. So we have this set up, and we'll just grab some descriptions from what we had before in our old non-brand campaigns. This doesn't really matter. But done. That's it. So this will show on all web pages. Now, if you wanted to, you could use like more specific ones and create these rules, but really I just use everything. That's it. Now, the setup process too, there's usually another menu. Like if you have a Merchant Center account, and this goes into shopping, you can select either using Google's index, so what Google has currently knows about your website. So like mine should not be indexed anymore. So if we just try to Google it, it's basically anything that would show up in Google organically. See, it's not here. So that's what would show up. But if you have the Merchant Center account, it can use the product feed as well as an option. I still like to use all web pages because I do like to use this to figure out some blogs and stuff. We're just gonna power through the rest of this, and then we're pretty much done with with this campaign. So it's a real quick setup, a little bit of information on what it is, but you saw in the settings here, right, when we're looking at ads, the trick here is dynamically generated. Based on what you're searching, it's gonna figure out like, is this page relevant to whatever the person is searching? Let's generate a headline, a display URL, and an actual landing page to send them to. And that's how this works. So again, like, you're not explicitly picking keywords, it's doing it for you. And that is amazing, because what you can do now is come here to search terms and get ideas for the rest of your campaign types. And this is where I usually find my top of funnel keywords that I want to target, because they've usually converted already. I'm going to go into top of funnel next in the next video. But yeah, dynamic search is a great way to come up with ideas. Now, the last thing to do is we want to add our negative keyword list of brand terms, because we don't want them to inflate this campaign's performance. And I see it all the time where people scale dynamic search and the only thing it's selling is brand terms. So you end up just wasting money on a research campaign. Now, how much do you spend on this? I mean, if your budget's like $100 a day, I probably wouldn't put more than 5 into it, and just like every 2 weeks take a look at it and see what we can get from it. If you've got a lot more money and you're willing to be more aggressive with trying to find new options to target, then yeah, you could blow this up. But still, like, a lot of what makes these campaigns sell is, and I'll go more into this in search engine marketing principles, but it's because a lot of these terms are going to be retargeting for people who've already seen your brand somewhere else. And then there's that campaign level data, which is leveraged to lean into the people side of bidding, which again, I'll cover that in another course. This one's mostly about the tech and the basic strategies, and we'll go into like the principles, the why this stuff is the way it is, at another time. So that's dynamic search. Next one we'll go over is top of funnel.